Okay, first of all, let's talk about Chev. How is he? What's the latest prognosis?
Yeah, he's in great spirits. Obviously, he's had a couple of operations since last week. Should be out of hospital later this week, and he's in fairly good spirits. For a guy that's had his leg, badly damaged. I really need to say thank you to all the Leeds support staff and their fans, and especially Keith Senior, the way that he handled the situation, and to hear the entire crowd singing "There's only one Chev Walker" makes you really proud to be part of the rugby league family. So I want to thank Leeds and especially Keith for the way they handled the situation. It was a touching moment in a very bad situation.
Okay, Shaun, what was it like having to sit out on Friday night?
Pretty frustrating, to be honest. Obviously, you work all season to be involved in the playoff games, and when it comes around, you sit on the sidelines watching. It's pretty disheartening, but I think the lads did a pretty good job. We didn't obviously come up with the result we wanted, but we hung in there for a long time against the champions, and we learned a little bit of experience about what playoff rugby is all about. So from a personal point of view, I think I'm definitely looking forward to being back on the field rather than sat in the stand.
Quite a few players were out for that game, and you still ran Leeds pretty close for a large portion of the game.
Yeah, obviously there's the positives that we can take from it. So the lads who went in are more than capable of doing the job, so I don't think it was a case of weakening the side. I just think obviously different personnel in different positions and maybe unfamiliar faces in certain spots, so I think that's maybe what contributed to it more rather than the injuries themselves.
Well, you came to Hull KR to achieve things, and this place is obviously very special to you. So how important is this game for you?
Massive, not just for me but for the club in general. I mean, we gave ourselves an opportunity of having 2 bites at the cherry, and we need it this weekend against Wigan, and it's do or die. It's massive for the club, it's massive for the players, and we're looking forward to the game on Saturday.
What sort of game do you see it being? A tight game or perhaps an expansive game?
Well, I think all the playoff games have been pretty tight, barring our own game, due to other circumstances. I think, it was unfortunate to lose the way we did. I think, we lost Chev, had players playing out of position, but, the other games have been error-riddled and, very close, very tight, as playoffs should be. Everybody's a little bit more nervous, when they can be knocked out, and whoever handles that pressure the best this weekend will be the teams to go through. So we've given ourselves an opportunity by being consistent over 27 rounds, and now we're back at home against Wigan, and we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, it looked like a really, really nasty break.
It was nasty, I think all rugby league players have seen some nasty ones in their time, but that's most probably way up there. And to see the support, and even Chev himself, he had a slight joke about it at the end that he should have played the ball before he got carried off, to make sure that we were on the attack. But again, it was a nasty one. But as I said, if there's a player that can come through it, it's Chev Walker. His contribution to this club, on and off the field's been first class, and we're very grateful for that, and hopefully that will continue.
Any idea on his, I know it's early days, on a timescale for when he might be back?
It's going to be a tough one. I would imagine it's not going to be for most probably at least 6 months. They're looking to put a cage around the leg. There's some positives out of it. The fact that the break was where it was. If it was a little bit lower, it could have been a lot worse than what's happened. So there are some positives out of it. And as I said, Chev's a very determined character. And if there's somebody that can come back from something that's as horrific as that, it's Chev Walker. So he's very determined to bounce back.
Players coming back this week for you. Obviously, a few of them missed it. Most notably, perhaps Shaun Briscoe. That's a boost for you. It's all part and parcel of the game, isn't it? You lose people and then people come back.
Yeah, I mean, we had some bad luck. We obviously lost Shaun. He'll be back this week. Jake Webster, Benny Galea, Scott Morrell pulled out of the day of the game last week. Ben Cockayne was missing. They'll all be back except for Ben Cockayne. And you take key players out of any team, it's going to be difficult. Take them out of a semi-final against the champions, it's even going to be more difficult. And then, as mentioned already, to lose Chev during the game is a big blow. But they're back this week. That'll give us a huge boost. It'll give us a little bit more stability. And they've been some of our most consistent players all year. So we'll welcome them back with open arms.
Now, what about Wigan? Brian Noble, obviously, fantastic record in playoff rugby, fantastic record in rugby league. Full stop. They're a decent side, aren't they? They can't be underestimated at all.
No, you can't underestimate them at all, as you say. They're a very good side. They're a very well drilled side, and they've done that over the last few years, and they've got. I think they've been unlucky the last couple of years to be knocked out when they have against Leeds, who've gone on to win it both times. So we're expecting a tough challenge from them. We know that we can't be off guard this weekend. We know we've got to turn up, and we know we've got to play.
And it's going to be the last game here, come what may, for the season, and obviously this crowd when they get behind you. They're a great crowd, aren't they?
Yeah, they're not bad, especially when these stands start going and they start singing the songs. It gives you a great boost and a great lift, and maybe they can be the 18th man for us this weekend and just give us that lift when we need it, and maybe energy levels are a little bit down. They can give us that boost and lift them back up again.
And injuries are part and parcel of the game, we know that, I mean you know that, but what happened to Chev on Friday night, that was quite a horrific injury, and it was one of those instances. It wasn't malicious, it was just one of those things, but the injury was quite bad. Has it affected the club in a positive way in any way? Or?
Yeah, I think obviously all the lads, as I've said in previous interviews, we're a tight bunch. We stick together, we do things for each other, and we work hard for each other. And I think obviously with the injury to Chev, get well soon Chev by the way, I think it's just a case of us digging together and being even tighter and working even harder for each other.
You can't beat yourselves up too much about that result at least, because it probably didn't really tell the story, did it?
No, I don't think it did. I don't think we deserved a 44-point add-in, and that's what we got. But we've quickly forgotten about that now. We've quickly put Chev to the back of our mind and wish him a speedy recovery. But we got a game this weekend against Wigan, and it's do or die. And I think everybody at the club, the players, the staff are very much looking forward to that.
And although you've lost Chev, you've got other players coming through who were out last week. So on the whole, I suppose you're probably in better shape this week than you were last week. Yeah,
I think we are. The players that didn't play last week will play this week. That gives us more options from the bench. It gives us more options on the field. So that's very important for our team and our structure. So hopefully the players that come back will perform, and everybody else will, and we'll extend our season by another week.
And your last game here for the season, how important is it that it's at home, and what does it mean to you to be playing here in this game?
Oh, it's massive. I mean, as you said, a couple of years ago when I moved across the city from a team that had made the grand final, that are now not in the playoffs, and now we're in the playoffs and we're at home in an elimination playoff game, and their sort of success and the big games that I wanted to be involved in, and that the club promised me that I would be involved in. So, it's massive for me, it's massive for the club, and we're very much looking forward to Saturday.
What sort of game do you see it being with Wigan, and previously this season, how have they been?
Look, it's one apiece really. I mean, we won at their place and they came here and beat us, and I think that was the emergence of Sam Tompkins that day here at Craven Park. So they're a top quality side. I thought they were fairly convincing, on Sunday against Cass, even though most of the scoreline didn't indicate that. They seemed to be in control of the game for most of it. They're a tough side. They're a team that's got internationals in it, team that's playing some good stuff at the moment, and we're going to have to be very good and very close to our best. It should be a good game. Hopefully the two teams aren't too nervous beforehand, because we know what's at stake, a chance to go to the club call for the first time, and everyone wants to be involved, and only be 80 minutes away from Old Trafford. But we're not getting too far ahead of ourselves. Our focus is firmly on Wigan. We know it's going to be a tough one.
And what do you take from the Leeds game, because perhaps the result didn't tell the full story of how close you ran them for large portions of the game? Yeah,
for 50 minutes we're in the game. A lot of it our own downfall. Made some errors late in the first half, and then after that in the second half our ball retention was very, very poor, and they just piled the points on. I think the positives out of it, to miss with key players and then to lose a player, and we had Mick Vella defending in the centres, and Clint Newton defending out wide for quite some time as well. So we had a lot of players out of position. So I thought we were very competitive for 50 minutes of the game, but we know it's 80 minutes. We understand that. We'll get some positives out of it. From the point of view that I thought at times we looked to put some pressure on them with our attack and our defence, but we'll have to do that for sustained periods this weekend.
You've got a game to negotiate first, but what do you make of the club call system? It's controversial, but it's also exciting, I suppose. Yeah,
there's two schools of thought. Some people dislike it, some people like it. For me, I just want to be involved in it. If that means you're in the final four teams before the grand final, that's the ultimate goal. In a funny kind of way, I'm glad it's not me that has that responsibility on their shoulders. It would be nice to be placed first and so forth, but it'll be a tough one, and I suppose there'll be plenty of media interest around the Sunday when it gets made, and as I said, hopefully we're involved somewhere.